Dear all, I am making this video in English today, which will be addressed to all the concerned authorities of employees provident funds organizations across India. Dear sirs, I humbly submit to the consideration of all your authorities as to what is the requirement of 26.6 para 26.6 under Employees Provident Funds Scheme 1952. For an exempted establishment where the grant of exemption has been provided under Section 17(1) to make a private establishment its own provident fund and make its own rules which are not less favorable than the provisions created under the Act and the scheme made thereunder. So, when an employer is maintaining a trust under Section 17(1) and also obtained consent from the Income Tax Department to maintain such a trust and also invested the trust fund according to the directions given by the PF department from time to time. In this particular exercise, the employer has chosen to give more benefits to its members by way of extending the provisions to contribute on higher salary, and which has been done from several years or from the inception or from the date of the grant of the exemption to the establishment for maintaining of the provident fund. Now my question here is, when an exemption has been granted and the trust is being run for several years and it has been examined from time to time, inspected from time to time by the authorities as to what are the contributions received in the EPF, and the pattern of investing the same thing, and a confirmation order has been given through the inspection, then what is the requirement of para 26.6, a separate permission to be obtained from APFC rank official from the department. So therefore, in my view, there is no requirement of 26.6 for an exempted establishment. If I am wrong, kindly give me a clarification why I am wrong. Secondly, I have gone through some of the instructions given by the Central Provident Fund Commissioner from time to time to all regional offices as to what are the procedures and how the regional officers have to consolidate the applications filed under the Section 71 to grant the exemption. Either they have to make their observations on the applications given. If objections are there, they must be giving a show-cause notice to the trust, furnishing further information, or return the application and ask the trust to continue the contributions as if it is an unexempted establishment. I have also bring to your kind consideration of such a letter written by Central Provident Fund Commissioner, wide letter dated 27th December 2007, in which the sub-para number 2 of para 7 says, where an employer decides to frame PF rules, incorporating some greater benefits than those offered under the provisions of EPF scheme 1952, the same shall be quite acceptable. Now I am asking the PF authorities, when such a direction has been passed by the Central Provident Fund Commissioner in granting the exemption to an establishment, erstwhile also granted. So when this particular 2007 letter says, the para what I have read over just now may be applicable to all the establishments which were existing earlier also. So therefore, when there was no objection by the concerned PF inspectors or enforcement officers, when they have inspected the accounts, balance sheet and the manner of conduct of the trust, they never ever have pointed out as to why the contributions on the Provident Fund are being contributed in excess of the statutory limited without having a permission letter from the APFC under para 26.6. While keeping this particular thing apart, I am also asking one more question. I am aware that in RC Gupta case, it was mentioned that opting para 26.6 for a higher contribution is a precursor, but it should not take away the right of an employer who is making a trust and making its members eligible for such a legitimate higher pension scheme, higher pension and higher wages, only because he does not have the requirement under 26.6. The rules have been approved by the PF department when they have specifically mentioned that they will be contributing higher than the prescribed wages under the Act for contribution of PF and contributed, and the same has been invested in different government securities as has been decided by the Regional Provident Fund from time to time. And moreover, I have one more question to you people. When the requirement of 26.6 is quite enough, why the other scheme, which is a sister scheme of the Employees Provident Fund called Employee Pension Scheme 1995, has created para 11.3, which has been repealed later and introduced para 11.4. I am of the opinion the para 26.6 speaks about only contributions on the Provident Fund, and para 11.3 and 11.4 are concerning the contribution on pension on higher wages. So there is a difference between these two. When 26.6 is mandated provision for maintaining of the Provident Fund, but 11.3 and 11.4 are mandated for governing pension on higher wages. So the judgment of Honorable Supreme Court, which has been released on 4/11/22, speaks about elaborately on the provisions of 11.3 and 11.4, which is concerning pension on higher wages. If in the view of the PF authorities, if 26.6 would be quite enough for governing everything, the question of making 11.3 under the pension scheme and 11.4 under the pension scheme should not arise when they want to club the both. So therefore, I am also asking the Provident Fund authorities, whomsoever it may be, when a private establishment which is contributing on more than higher wages to the Provident Fund and has submitted their returns to the Regional Provident Fund Commissioner, my observation is have at any given point of time, they have questioned that concerned establishment, saying that why you are remitting this particular contributions more than the ceiling limit which has been prescribed, which is in violation of the law. You people have never done that. If you have done in any establishment, I would like to know, and I would like to opt for an RTI and get the information from your authorities. When such a question has not been posed by the department authorities, asking either the exempted establishment or the unexempted establishment about the contribution on higher wages when they have been paid, it is deemed that department is well aware of the contributions made on the higher wages. And further I observe this particular one of the authorities from Hyderabad, Regional Provident Fund Commissioner Hyderabad, has given a big hoarding which is kept in the PF office, saying that the para 26(6) is a mandated one, along with the contribution on higher wages and contribution on higher pension also. My dear officers, I would like to ask, was there any provision in your computer system to accept higher contribution for the pension over and above 15,000? When there was no provision in your online system itself to accept more than 15,000 contribution to the family pension fund, how you people expect that 26(6) proof of payment of contribution on higher wage towards the pension fund also? It's a question to be examined, or you may have to examine this particular fact in detail. So it is my sincere appeal to all the authorities, kindly relook into all this kind of aberrations what has been created, and there is no universal language to be spoken across India from the authorities, and different authorities are interpreting this particular judgment of Honorable Supreme Court of 4/11/22, and they are making their own assumptions and presumptions about this particular higher wages and creating confusion for the members who were to do it. Now members are left with no other option than to submit the proof of payment of higher contributions with their supporting with their contribution cards, or supporting with the trust deed or trust rules which have been approved by your department to maintain the own trust. So in both the cases of exempted and unexempted, I request you people to look at the requirement what you have said, whether it is correct or not. Otherwise, it will be a great inconvenience for all the members who are making the application now. Now, since the time is fast approaching, I request all authorities to look at it with this particular provision which has been mandated to enclose under 26(6), or you can amend the same thing in your own portal, saying that submit proof of remitting higher contributions, and everybody will do it, and everybody will have that higher contributions contributed on more than the prescribed wage ceiling limited. So therefore, there are so many people who are eagerly waiting to the EPFO's guidelines on this particular thing, and they are doing somehow, but they are facing some problems, and they have their own doubt whether PF authorities will be accepting this kind of application or not. Prima facie, since you people have your own rules and regulations to make, and Honorable Supreme Court of India has also given you certain guidelines in its judgment and delivered on 4/11/22. I would like to appeal to all the PF authorities to relook into and ensure that proper justice has been done to the all members who are trying to fill the joint application form now. Therefore, I request you once again sincerely, kindly look into this, make amendments or take my video to the highest levels of your authorities like Central Provident Fund Commissioner also. Put it across with him, check and a necessary amendment in the rule may be brought over to ensure that every member is benefited who would like to opt for the joint application. Otherwise, all members will lose the trust and belief on the Provident Fund trust which has been maintained privately. And it will become one more issue between the Provident Fund members and the trust. Whether trust has received the members or members have been received by the trust is a question. It will come, and there is a possibility that one legal remedy will be sought by all the employees who are the members of the trust for deducting this particular higher wages on the contribution on higher wages which were of no use when it has been called for an action by the PF department. Therefore, in order to have a peaceful transaction and avoid further litigation by the members with the trust, you are going to create one rift between the members and the trust again by putting this particular objection into consideration. Everybody will lose their confidence in the trust, and they say that we don't believe the trust, though they might have enjoyed their benefits. Such a contribution for so long time, when called for an action, when required to be put a proof, if they are unable to do it, definitely they will lose confidence in the trust, and they will go and ask either Supreme Court or other courts saying that why their application has not been accepted in spite of making higher contributions on higher wages as directed by the trust. Therefore, in order to avoid all this litigation and everything, kindly I request PF authorities, please look into this particular provision and create via media solution as to how to accept the joint option form only by submission of a proof saying that they have contributed to the higher wages according to the trust rules which are more beneficial than the provisions of the Act which are limited to either 5,000, 6,500 or 15,000. This is my sincere request. Kindly look into this particular thing, and if something can be done for the benefit of lakhs of people who are eagerly waiting for the joint option, and allow them to do it very smoothly rather than creating a problem.